What happened in the month of July in Edmonton's real estate market? Well, you're going to want to tune in because we're going to talk about that in this video. Hi, this is Melody Wilson, Edmonton Realtor here, and I'm going to talk to you about what has happened in July's real estate market. We all know that this year has been a very busy real estate market in Edmonton, and we saw a slowdown in June and July. And what kind of slowdown does that look like? Now, we're talking specifically on single-family home market. So if you look at the market absorption, you will see that we definitely indeed have seen a slowdown in the real estate market. Their chances of selling have gone slightly lower from the month of June and also from the month of May. That being said, we're still slightly higher than we were at this time last year. Now, don't forget, last year we were actually quite busy. We had a delay in the market, and so the spring market didn't really start to happen until May, June, versus this year we actually had the start of spring market early in February, March. So this is kind of in tune. Every year we have a high market and a slower down market. It is obvious that people are out and going out on vacation and money is being spent elsewhere. So in the month of July, we're seeing a lot of variables in terms of why the market's slowing down. If you look at the average price, we're slightly lower than we were in June. June was actually the highest average price in the last 12 months. Now we're still higher than last year in terms of average price, and that is because it takes time for the average price to go up. So even though the market was busy last year and busier than it was this year, the market was still recovering from the economic downturn we had prior. So this makes sense. The average price this year is higher than it was last year because this entire last about 6 to 10 months, the market has been slowly inclining with the seller's market and the high demand, causing the market prices to increase. So if you take a look at the active listings, we currently have a little less listings, just over 3,000 listings, and it's a little bit lower than it was last month, and our sales are down a little bit over last month as well. Interestingly enough, the sales for this month of July versus last July are actually exactly the same. So our market is staying pretty consistent. I would say it's still pretty balanced. As a seller, you still have a good chance of selling, but you cannot be over ambitious in terms of how much money you're going to get. I know that you hear that it's a seller's market, everyone wants your house. However, it still goes down to the key points. Is your home marketed properly? Is it everywhere it possibly can be on social media? Everywhere it can be, everywhere, not just on MLS. And is your house priced properly? If your house is not priced properly and it's a little bit high, you think, well, maybe I can negotiate down. That strategy actually never works. If you price it exactly where it needs to be, you could possibly get multiple offers, or you could just get an offer and showings. If you price a little too high, you push yourself over that amount where people don't even want to show the property or look at the property. Now don't forget, the way your house shows is also very important. So that's why we have a stager on our team to help you make sure your home looks like a show home. We gotta appeal to the masses, not just to the people that love your style. So it's very important that every key element is done in order to sell your home. As a buyer, what does this mean? As a buyer, you still have choices. You still have limited choices. We still are not seeing a ton of choices for our buyers. However, you're still able to get a house at market value, which is also very important. So if you look at the average days on market, our average days on market is slightly higher than it was last month, only by 4 days. But if you look at last year at this time, we were still coming off that slower market, and so we were looking still at the over 50 days on market. And so in terms of buyers need to make decisions, we still got to make decisions quickly. Things don't last. And sellers, you can still expect that we should be able to sell your home in less than 30 days. Now, for different realtors, we have different days on market. Our days on market has always been under 30 days, even when it's been over 50, 60 days on market as the average. And so we're starting to see this year that our average days on market is also lower than it normally is as well. So if you take a look at where are the sales happening in the Edmonton single-family home market, no big surprise, it's in the $300 to $399 range. Now the $400 to $499 range is actually really close this year, and so you'll see the bulk of sales happening in this area. Now that doesn't mean that homes over $1 million haven't sold, because guess what? There's been quite a few homes over $1 million sell this year in Edmonton. So that's always a sign of a good market if people are buying homes over that mark. Now, you may wonder what kind of homes can you get in the Edmonton market for over $1 million. Well, you want to check out some of our videos up here and down here to see what kind of homes that you can get, not just in the $1 million range, but also in the $300,000 to $500,000 range. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next month.